Major breaking news, the United States Department of Justice has just filed a reply brief in support of their application for emergency relief from the United States Supreme Court that, if granted, will allow the Joe Biden ghost gun regulation dealing with frames and receivers and parts of frames and receivers to go into effect. Stay tuned. We're going to break it down for you. Okay, folks, the United States Department of Justice filed a reply brief trying to argue that the quote-unquote ghost gun regulation should go into effect and that the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeal ruling in the Second Amendment favor should be stayed and the vacatur decision should be abstained from or stopped so that the regulation of Joe Biden can go into effect. But at the end of the day, this reply brief, as I see it, is as follows. Would you like some cheese with that wine? Because that's really what we're looking at here. It's a bunch of whining from the Department of Justice. Specifically, if you look at how they start, they say immediately they want to skip the law and talk about the practical effects that people will be able to buy partially completed receivers and partially completed frames. In addition, they will be able to buy anonymously gun parts. Hello? That's because that's what Congress said. That's what the Second Amendment provides. That's what's allowed. And if you don't like it, Department of Justice, go to Congress and change the law and then see if you can overcome the Second Amendment objections to such a change in the law. So stop with the whining because it's not going to work. Number one. Number two, they then try to claim that the discussion about what is a ghost gun is quibbling. That's the word they use, quibble. But think about that for a second. Their entire argument is you have this explosion of ghost guns that's endangering American lives, but they won't define it because, as you know, a ghost gun is a political propaganda term for unserialized firearms, which includes several categories. The only one they're trying to regulate right now is privately made firearms because that's the thing they don't want. They don't want us to be able to make guns in our basements because we're Americans, because they want us to be serfs and they want the right to keep and bear arms to be a privilege and not a right. My last point is they also are complaining about the application of the rule of lenity, which, as you know, the rule of lenity says if you're dealing with something with criminal implications, any ambiguity must be resolved in favor of the American citizen and against the government, and they really hate that, and they made it clear in their briefs today. Okay, folks, if you haven't subscribed to the Four Boxes Diner, please do so. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Four Boxes Diner. And again, we'll see you again soon here at the Four Boxes Diner.
Orders up. Table 2A.